Alright, what's going on, everybody? Got another gold guide video for you today. It's the Oden. If you haven't seen one of my videos before, I'm going to kind of explain how I have these videos structured. So I have each gun broken down into 4 different builds. Each build will be covering specific categories of the camos, certain challenges more or less. And then after the 4 builds, I will have a camo requirement part of the video where I go over all the different camo categories, what you have to do to complete them, and then I'll tell you what maps were the easiest to get the challenges done on, what variation, whether it's like hardcore or core, and then what build to use, and then what other tips and tricks, any tips and tricks that I picked up along the way to getting Damascus. If you're just here to see the builds and just see maybe some quick tips that I have, what attachments I was using on the guns, I have all the timestamps down below, so if you just want to really quickly go over there and see what I'm using, just go ahead and click the timestamp, it'll take you straight there. But starting with the first build, it should be the kills build. Alright, so here's the kills build. If you've seen any of my other videos or gun guides, it'll look, I think, exactly the same. I'm using the GI Mini Reflex, which is my favorite optic. If you haven't heard me explain it before, it's because of the frame. It's got a very thin frame, so there's the smallest chance that you're gonna block somebody with that. And then I use the 5mm laser just because it's going to help with your hipfire accuracy and your sprint to fire speed, which in hardcore is good to have your sprint to fire speed boosted. That way you're able to get your gun up before the other person, because it's only going to take a couple shots in hardcore to kill somebody. I always recommend to play hardcore when you're going for these gun challenges, because for whatever reason it makes it 10 times easier to get them done. The underbarrel you want to use is the Merc foregrip. Again, it's going to help with your recoil control and then also your hipfire accuracy. Rear grip is my favorite attachment in the game. The stapled grip tape, it's going to help with your ADS speed and sprint to fire speed, which are my two, other than recoil control, these are my 2 favorite pros, and they're really good for hardcore. And then for the stock, I'm using the FTAC XL Elite Comb. It's going to help with your ADS speed, which, again, just repeating myself, it's really good to have your ADS speed boosted in hardcore, and just in general in this game. So that's it for the kills build. The next up is the reload build. Alright, I lied. It was the Hipfire build, not the reload build. But here's the Hipfire build. Me personally, like all my other gun guides, I didn't actually use the Hipfire build. I was able to get that done just using the kills build. Anybody would really be able to get it done using the kills build, but this is a little bit better if you're specifically going for Hipfire kills and not any other kills at the same time. The reason for that being is that there's only 2 attachments that really make your hipfire more accurate, and that is the 5mm laser right here. Hipfire accuracy is increased. The 1mm also increases your hipfire accuracy, but as you can see down here, compared to the 5mm, which is currently selected, it's going to bring down your accuracy. So the 5mm is better just by a little bit. The only con is that it's visible to enemies where the 1mm is not. And then the second mandatory attachment for your hipfire accuracy is the underbarrel, and that's the Merc foregrip. This is the only underbarrel attachment in the game, to my knowledge, that helps with your hipfire accuracy. If I was to scroll through all these other grips real quick, there's nothing for hipfire accuracy. The Merc foregrip, which does have it, bipod does not, tactical does not, ranger does not, and then the operator also does not. So those are the only 2 attachments on this gun that are going to help your hipfire accuracy, which are both on the kills build. But there's attachments to make it a little bit easier to get your hipfire kills, and that would be extended mags and sleight of hand. So my explanation for that is that when you're hipfiring, you're not going to be 100% accurate. You're going to be less accurate than you were when you were ADSing, so that's going to require you to shoot more. So if you're shooting more, you want to have an extended mag, because that's going to give you more bullets. And then that exact reasoning ties into sleight of hand. If you're shooting more, that means you want as many bullets as you can into that magazine, which is going to require you to reload constantly. To have faster reload times, you're going to want sleight of hand. So that's why I use sleight of hand and the extended mags. And then the last attachment is really just a filler to make sure you're meeting that 5 out of 5. So you're getting that Tiger challenge completed as well if you're using this build. And you could really use anything, but barrel, nothing, as you look at the pros, nothing's going to help with your hipfire accuracy. Optic, obviously nothing's going to help you with hipfire accuracy, and then the stock, nothing's going to help you. Now, the muzzle also doesn't help you with hipfire accuracy, but it is going to increase your damage range and help your recoil control, which, I mean, can be important. The recoil control is definitely important, I guess, but not the damage range, really. If you're playing hardcore on a small map, most likely, shoot house or shipment, that damage range there's not going to be a drop-off for you. But the sound suppression is the big thing. I mean, air quotes around big thing. It's just going to give you, or it may give you, an extra second or two to stay alive while that person tries to figure out where you are, and that might net you the kill. The cons are both related to aiming, which, since you're hip firing, isn't going to affect you whatsoever. That's it for the Hipfire build. Next is reload. Alrighty, so here's the reload build. If you saw the kills build, it looks extremely similar. I'm not going to go over all the attachments because there's only one thing that's missing, and that is the laser. I swapped that laser off for sleight of hand because for a reload kill, you need a reload. You want that reload time to be as small as possible, so I use sleight of hand. Last but not least is the Longshot build. Now, real quick before I get into the gun itself, an important factor to this build is the tactical slot, which is the smoke grenade. Now, the reason for that being is right here. So, I'm using the thermal sight. I'm going to put up a picture on the screen. What you want to do with that smoke grenade is throw a smoke over this wall right here that I'm standing on, and you want it to land like on mid lane. So when that smoke puffs up, it's going to completely block visibility through the mid lane. You want to mount your gun on this wall where you see I'm standing. Look through your sight down mid lane. If anybody's on that wall at the opposite end, that'll be a long shot kill, and if you're mounted, it'll also count as a mounted kill. And they can also be just a little bit in front of that wall, like running towards you, and that'll count as a long shot as well. So this spot is really good. It's where I got all my gun, like long shot, mounted kills. Even sniper rifles will get long shots right here. It's where I got all my mounted and long shot kills. Now going down into the other attachments for the gun, I'm using the Forge Tech ballast pack. This is going to help with your aiming stability. Since you're just going to be sitting here mounted on this wall, I didn't even worry about my left or right flank in that spot. I literally just looked down mid lane. You want your aiming stability just be as high as possible, so your crosshair is as stiff as possible. So that stock helps with that. The granulated grip tape also helps with your aiming stability, which is a big plus. For that same reasoning, you just want your crosshair to be like as static as possible. You just don't want it swaying around everywhere. On the Merc foregrip, this gun does have a little bit of kick, so that Merc foregrip's going to play in with your recoil control. Mix that in with mounting, and it helps out a lot. And then hipfire accuracy is just there. I mean, just in case, I guess. You're really just worried about the recoil control for that. And then the barrel. Take the longest barrel, 810mm. It's going to help with your damage range and bullet velocity, although on shoot house, that's not really going to be a factor. But then it helps with your recoil control even more to help out with that kick. But that's it for all the builds. Now I'm going to hop into the camo requirement part of the video. Alright, so now we're into the camo requirement part of the video. So just straight out of the gate, all I want to mention is I'm not going to keep saying the variant because of the game mode, because they're all going to be hardcore. It's just the easiest way to get these camos done. So all the variants are going to stay the same except for skulls, which you can also play ground war. So you have to play core. If you play ground war, there's no option between hardcore and core. So I'm just not going to keep repeating the variant over and over again. But getting into the first one, spray paint, you need 800 kills. The game mode you want to play is either shoot house or shipment. That way you get the most kills in those game modes, you run into the most fights. And then the weapon build, I would recommend using as kills build. Then woodland, you need 125 headshots. Again, play shoot house or shipment. And then again, same build, use the kills build. Now it might sound silly, I've said it before, but try and go in with a mindset of you want to specifically get headshots. You don't just want to get a kill, you want to get a headshot. Because in hardcore, if you're really just focused on hitting the head, you're shooting at head level, it's only going to take one shot to the head to kill somebody in hardcore. So I kept that mentality, and I was able to get a lot more headshots in my games. For digital, you need 160 crouching kills. Same thing, shoot house or shipment. You get the most kills that way. For crouch kills, I kept the mentality of I would spawn, and I would crouch right away, and I would play my entire life. If I was on shipment, that is. I would play my entire life crouching, I would never stand up. That way, any kill I got was a crouch kill. And then the weapon build you want to use is the kills build. For dragon, 75 hipfire kills. If you actually do digital and dragon together, you can get the increased hipfire accuracy by crouching. And then if you hipfire them, you'll get both a dragon kill and a digital kill. Then the weapon build, you can either use the Hipfire or the kills build. If you're going to use the kills build, I recommend swapping off an attachment and putting on a 5mm laser. But you can use the Hipfire build if you're specifically going for Hipfire kills. For a Splinter, you need 100 long shots. Again, you want to play specifically shoot house, not just because you can't get a long shot in shipment, I don't think. And then the variant, well, I said I was going to say the variants, but the variant's hardcore. And you want to use the Longshot build of the FAL. If you're skipping straight to this part of the video, go back and watch the Longshot build. I'll explain the playstyle of exactly what you want to do on shoot house to get all your Longshot kills the quickest and the fastest. For topo, topography, you need 100 mounted kills. Again, do the same exact thing as your long shots, because you'll be able to get a long shot and a mounted kill at the same time. And you could do it on shipment, but if you're going to go for your long shots and mounted kills in the same time, you need to be on shoot house. And then, depending if you're going on shoot house, use the long shot build. If you're going on shipment for your mounted kills, use the kills build. And then if you use, for Tiger, if you used any of the attachments, not any of the attachments, any of the builds in the video, they all have 5 attachments, so you'll be getting a Tiger kill once you have that challenge unlocked. Doesn't matter what map, either, again, that's a mistake, ground war shouldn't be there, it should be shipment. But play on shoot house or shipment because you'll get the most kills in those game modes, and then you can use whatever build you want. I'd recommend the kills build. For stripes, you need 50 reload kills, play on shoot house or shipment. And then the weapon build, you can use the reload build if you're specifically going for reload kills, or if you're just using the kills build, you could get it passively using that build. For reptile, you need 110 kills with no attachments. Again, you want to play on shoot house or shipment, the same reason, most kills, most fights. And then there's no weapon build because you need to use a bare bones gun. And last but not least is skulls. You need 35 3-kill streaks, and then you either want to play on shoot the ship, which is just shipment or shoot house. I just was saving space by saying that, or ground war. So if you're getting smacked around in shoot house or shipment, play ground war. But I would definitely start out in shoot house or shipment because of the reason you're going to run into more people. So if you're playing shoot house or shipment, play hardcore. And if you're playing ground war, you have no choice, you have to play core. Then the weapon build I would use would just be the kills build. It'll work perfectly in both those game modes. I mean, if you're playing ground war, maybe put on a higher magnification scope, but the GI sight should be fine no matter what. But that's actually it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed the video, drop it a like. If you didn't, a dislike. I always feel weird asking for people to subscribe, although people have been subscribing, and for those that have, I get a notification on my phone whenever someone does. So I see you and I appreciate you. But I always feel weird asking for it, so I'm just going to put in a little clip here of Jev explaining that whole thing, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.
Jev is such a lame. He used to mock people for asking for subscribers, and now that's all he does. It's like, dude, the analytics between a video where you tell somebody, just adding, hey, can you subscribe, versus not. It's actually insane. It's literally a friendly reminder that you can subscribe. I ain't begging for shit. I got enough. But if you want to subscribe, I appreciate it.